Okay, so in this video we will look at how to use Microsoft Excel. So first you go to start or all programs and then you select Microsoft Excel. When it opens like the Microsoft Word, this this page is known as welcome page. Okay, so you can click blank document. Okay, so when it opens you have to create a new document. Okay, and to create a new document you have to save it and give it a file name. Okay, so now this is a blank Microsoft Excel document. Let me save it first. So to save it, you go to file and then you choose save as. Don't forget that saving a document for the first time you have to you have to select the save as option. And after saving, when you make changes and you want to save the new changes, then you use the save option. So I am saving this Microsoft Excel file for the first time, so I select save as. So I click save as. Okay, then I select browse. Then I select the location where I want to save it. I want to save it to my desktop, so I click desktop and then the file name. You can name it files. You can name it files Excel. First Excel document. Okay, you can name it first Excel document. Then you click save. Okay, now it has been saved to your desktop. So now if I click it, I can see that first Excel document has been created on my desktop. So I can double click on it to open, or I can right click and then select open to open it. Okay, so now it has opened and I want to start working with my Microsoft Word document. Okay, now before we start learning how to use it, I want to explain Microsoft Excel to you. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application created by Microsoft. Okay, it is mostly used throughout the world, worldwide. Microsoft Excel is used worldwide for different purposes such as data analysis. Microsoft Excel can be used for data analysis. Students can use it as the way they use scientific calculators by using Excel formulas and functions. And then forest bureaus can also use it to convert their currencies. Microsoft Excel can be used to prepare loan redemption table and then balance sheets and a whole lot of purposes. Okay, so now when Microsoft Excel opens, you can see it is like it is like a book. Okay, you can see the bottom here. This is sheet one. Okay, if you want to add another sheet, the sheet one is like uh, sheet of a book. Okay, if you want to add another sheet, you can click this plus sign. Okay, and then sheet 2 has come. You can click the plus sign again. Sheet 3, you click again. Sheet 4, you click again. Sheet 5. In Microsoft Excel, you can keep adding the sheets up to 255 sheets. Okay, so you can add up to 255 sheets in Microsoft Excel, and all the sheets together form a workbook. Okay, so now I have five worksheets: sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5. Okay, so now let me save the changes. Let me save all the sheets that I have created. Now if I close the document, this first Excel document, it is called a workbook. It is like a book. So this is a workbook. Okay, so if I open the workbook, Microsoft Excel workbook, then in the workbook I can find worksheets, which is sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5. So these are the worksheets. They are contained within a workbook. Okay, okay, so you can right click and then you delete. You can right click and then you delete a sheet. You can right click and then you delete a sheet. You can right click and then you delete a sheet. Okay, so leaving the sheet 1, you can right click and rename it. So you can enter the name that you want. Okay, so you right click. Sorry, let me delete sheet 2, and then let me right click sheet 1 and then rename. Okay, so now you can begin to type any name that you want, like um, okay, sheet, it is the default name is sheet 1, so let me make it book, or let me make it Paul. Let me call it Paul. So Paul, then you press enter. Okay, so the first sheet, which is sheet 1, has been renamed to Paul. Okay. If you want to add another sheet, then you click the plus. Then another sheet will come. Because I opened sheet 1, sheet 2, that is why the new sheet, it is called sheet 3. Okay, so now let me delete it, and then let's work it on the sheet 1. So in case you are working on on one sheet and the sheet becomes full, or you have a lot of information on the sheet, then you click the plus sign and then you add another new sheet. Then you work on the new sheet that you have created. Okay, so that the old sheet won't become too much, won't become overloaded, okay, with information. Okay, now so when it opens, we have file tab, home tab, insert tab, page layout, formless, data, different types, as we have in Microsoft Word. Okay, so under the under the page layout, you have margins, orientation, page size, the same thing as in Microsoft Word. And under the home type, you have bold, italic, underline, the font type, font size, and then font color, and the alignment, left alignment, middle alignment, and then uh, right alignment, the same as we have in Microsoft Word. Okay, and you will see here where it is written A1. It is called name box. Name box is the name of the active cell, and the active cell is the cell that you are currently working with. If you click on a cell, it becomes the active cell. So by default, when you open a new Microsoft document or a new worksheet, you see that cell A1 is always the default active cell. It is always the cell that has been selected, so as the active cell. So anytime you open a new Microsoft document, you see the default cell as cell A1, or the active cell as cell A1. Okay, and we have A, B, C. They are all column letters. You see this side, if you click on A, you see the column that has been highlighted or selected is called A column. If you click on B, you see the B column has been selected. If you click C, the C column has been selected. The same thing, the columns are vertical, and then the horizontal ones are the rows. So if I click on 1, row 1 has been selected. If I click on 2, row 2 has been selected. If I click on 3, row 3 has been selected. Okay, so now let me click. So you see the column A column and then row 1. If I click on this one, cell A1, it is the name of the row number and the column letter that gives the cell name. Okay, so the cell name A1 has been appeared in the name box. Okay, so if I click here, you see it says D2 in the name box. So the D2 is the cell name. It is also called cell reference, cell name, or cell reference. Okay, so a row number and a column letter gives a cell name and or a cell reference. A row number and then column letter gives a cell name or cell reference. Okay, and also we have the formula bar. The formula bar is where you can enter your formulas and functions. And in Microsoft Excel, any formula or function that you enter must begin with the equal sign, must begin with the equal sign, or the equals, or an equal sign. Okay, so now let me let me enter, let me call cell A1 numbers. Okay, numbers, or let me call it uh, class 1. Okay, let me call it class 1. And then column B, let me call it class 2. Okay, so under class 1 I can enter numbers like 5, 4, 7, 8, and then 3. Okay, and then under class 2 I can type, let's say 3, 2, 2, 3, 2. Okay, so you can click on class 1, which is A1. Okay, and then you see the formula, the content in cell A1, or any cell that you select, the content in that cell appears in the formula bar. So you can click on cell A1, or let's say class 1, and edit its content in the formula bar. Okay, so if I click cell 2, if I click class 2, which is cell B1, it appears in the formula bar as class 2. So I can edit the content in the formula bar. So now let me say class 5. Okay, you see it has changed class 5. Okay, if you want to change to whatever you want, you can click on the cell and edit the content in the formula bar. Okay, so if I click on this one again, I can click bold and make it bold. If I click class 2, I can click bold and make it bold. If I click, I can select both cells. Okay, and then I change the font size to maybe like 20, or let's see 12, and then the color I can see red like this. Okay, and if I want the ratings or the text to be in the middle of the cell, I can select the center like this, and it will appear at the center. If I want left, I click left. Okay, so now we are going to look at simple formulas in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so now we have 5 in cell A2, 4 in cell A3, 7 in cell A4, and the rest. And under class 2 we have 3 in cell B2, we have 2, 2, 3, and then 2. Okay, now I can say total, I can call this column total. Okay, let me make it bold, and then okay, make it bold and then red color. Okay, and the font size too, let me make it 12. Okay, so I can say total. Okay, and the total, this is what it does. Okay, so I can click here and click on 5, and I click on 5. Sorry, I click here, I click on where I want the answer to be. Okay, which is cell C2. Then I type my equal sign, because in Microsoft Excel every formula or function must begin with the equal sign. So equal, then I click 5, then I type plus, which is the addition sign, then I click on 3. Okay, so the 5 is located in cell A2, and the 3 is located in cell B2. That is why it is showing A2 plus B2. It is this, which means 5 plus 3. Okay, and it is using the cell names to do the calculation, because Excel knows that in cell A2 5 is there, and cell B2 3 is also there. So now if I press enter, it has added 5 and then 3, which is 8. Okay, now if I want to calculate the rest, I can put the cursor at the bottom right of the cell that I have calculated for the answer, at the bottom right like this. Then I drag down or double click. I can double click or drag down like this, then you release your hand and the rest has been calculated. Okay, so you can select all like this and choose highlight color. This is fill color. Okay, you can choose fill color. You can say yellow. You can select all like this, then you choose fill color. You can say light blue like this. You can select all like this, then you choose yellow again. You see. Okay, so you can replace the addition with subtraction. Okay, so when you make it, you replace the addition with subtraction. The second number will be subtracted from the first number. Okay, so now let me enter 5. Let me enter 5 into cell G2, 5, and then let me enter okay, let me enter 10 into cell G2, and then enter 5 into cell H2. Okay, so now I click cell I2, and then I type my equal, and then I select 10 minus, I type minus, then I click 5, then I press enter. Okay, you see 10 minus 5 is 5. Okay, so now if I click on the answer like this, then I edit the content in the formula bar. So instead of the minus in Microsoft Excel, the 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 dash or the hyphen is used to subtract. So if I replace it with asterisk, then it will multiply. Okay, so 10 times 5, or 10 by 5 is 50. So if I click on the answer, and then in the formula bar I remove the asterisk. The asterisk is used to multiply. The asterisk is used to multiply in Microsoft Excel, and then the slash, forward slash like this, is used to divide. So if I press enter, 10 divided by 5 gives 2. Okay, 10 divided slash G2 slash H2, which is 10 slash 5. It means 10 divided by 5. The answer is 2. The G2 represents 10, and then the H2 represents 5. Okay, so now if I replace the slash, which is the division, with addition to plus like this, it will add 10 and 5. So I press enter, which is 15. Okay,